Hiya, it's me, Peach's Queen, and welcome to this week's episode of Peach Talks. This episode is called YASSS Mistress, because in this episode, I interview my very sexy friend, Contessa. Contessa is at the top of her game as a dominatrix here in Australia. She has just won the award for Best Fetish and Fantasy at this year's Australian Adult Industry Awards. Contessa gives us an insight into what it's like being one of Australia's top dominatrix, a look at her brand new range of fisting toys, which are available from Plastic Emporium, and just in general, the excitement of being a dominatrix. This is an interview you do not want to miss. Hello, Contessa! How are you, darling?
Hey. How are we down in lockdown?
Come here, you look fucking fabulous.
Oh, so do you. I love the outfit.
Well, I thought I'd do a little bit of BDSM for you, as that is the theme of tonight's conversation.
Oh, nice. Have you seen my come out?
What did you say, love?
Have you seen my new toy that's come out? Remember this one from last year's lockdown?
Look at that hand.
This was last year's lockdown. Yes. This was my Contessa doll fisting toy, the double-ender that sold out last year. And look, this year, 80% more forearm for this year.
Look!
Because we're all getting fucking shafted.
That's modelled on your own arm.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. But come here, I wouldn't be able to use anything like that. I'm as tight as a cat's anus.
Oh, we all started out somewhere.
Oh, well, very true. Come here, I want to start off by asking you, how are you going during lockdown?
Well, during the first half of lockdown, I hated it so much. It drove me insane. And I think I nearly killed everyone that was, oh, sorry, my painting's got nipples. Hope you don't mind.
We love nipples, that's okay.
I killed everyone during the first half, but now I'm enjoying lockdown. I'm just going with the flow and yeah, taking time out, just be me. I moved into a new place. I'm excited. Ignore the blinds behind. They're very ghetto. I'm going to get them changed soon.
Come here. This is giving me Carrie Bradshaw's apartment in Sex and the City, so it looks fabulous. You're all good.
It kind of has that vibe to it. So I'm happy to get out on the dating scene as soon as lockdown has ended, because I decided I've had enough. I'm sick of being single. I've been separated like 4 years. I'm going to get out on the dating scene. So I will be Carrie Bradshaw.
Good, good. Now, Contessa, what is it that you do for work? Because we met each other just recently at the Australian Adult Industry Award, and you won a prize for the best, what was it again?
Fetish and fantasy. So I'm a dominatrix.
So what does it entail being a dominatrix? I mean, how did you get into being a dominatrix?
More out of morbid curiosity, because it's just something that I've always been attracted to. I've always had that to deal with emotional pain. That's how I would deal with it, is physically. Yeah. And a lot of people in my part of that are into BDSM do the same thing. It's kind of therapeutic for us. But I just make sure people do it in a safe, controlled environment, because I'm kind of them. So I just make sure it's in a safe, controlled environment. I know when to stop. I know how to make it psychologically feel worse than what it is. So they're not going to go home in a stretcher. So just a safety supervisor.
Do you have a public liability insurance? How does that work? Like, what happens there? How does that all work?
But no, I'll be really honest. I'm seeing a psychologist at the moment to make sure that I have a perfectly good mental health for when I leave down and when I start going back into it again. So I have that.
Wow.
I'm insane. And no, I'm very trained. Even in my downtime, even during lockdown, I've been practicing like swinging my whip. My whip's right here. I hang it on the wall. I've been practicing it.
Girl, that's a fabulous whip.
Yeah. So I'm ready to go back to work.
Well, come here. Well, and you know what? I'd say there are a lot of men stuck in their houses who'll be dying to fucking see you soon. But when did you start? When did you start your career? Sorry, darling. When did you start the career?
20 years ago.
What?
Yes, I'm that old now. 20 years ago, I got into it just more. I started off as a slave. That's the way I was trained. And the guy that trained me has now passed away, and I just won't mention his name out of respect for his wife. But he trained me, and I worked for 1 year as a slave, and then he trained me to be a dom. And then I went to go work at my first place where I was a dominatrix, and I started off at the very bottom, and I was really shit. And years later, it took me 20 years to get the award, but I got there.
It took you 20 years to get a model of your own fist. Well,
Exactly.
fucking well done.
Exactly. Don't tell me dreams don't come true, people. My nickname when I started was Show Pony.
Oh my God, I love Show Pony.
No, because they didn't believe I was a real dominatrix, because they thought I was just into it for attention, but because I didn't look like a typical dominatrix and I didn't have the mannerisms of them.
Wow. And now look at you. I mean,
yeah, I tried to adapt that style, but it wasn't me. And I think when I became more myself, and that's when people started to like me, when I was less of a bitch and just more nice.
Fabulous. Because obviously, I mean, when I knew I was talking to you, I went, right, dominatrix, we need leather, we need chains, we need everything, because that's what people would have in their mind, right? And
yeah.
And you said you didn't really fit into that category yet. Why was that? Did you care for
because
fashion,
the
or?
typical dominatrix, and don't get me wrong, but this was like back when I started, was the really, that haircut.
Yes, a little black bob. Yeah.
All had that bobbed, sharp, severe hair. They all had that angry face, and heaven forbid they even crack a smile.
Wow.
Or even, I'd be labeled an idiot if I did. But they were all so intimidating, so scary, and till by today's standards, they are still the most scariest women I know.
Oh,
and
I would imagine.
Still around today, and they're still kicking ass. So respect.
Oh, 110% respect.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it absolutely fascinating, because that me going to them awards was the first time I was kind of introduced into the adult industry, and I was overwhelmed. Like this is actual people's careers, people make a lot of money out of doing this, and it has nothing, that people would often, I'm sure there's a taboo around sex workers, right? Have you experienced that?
Yes, this has been my main job my whole life. Like I'm turning 44 this year, and this has been my career for most of my life, as being a sex worker. And yes, I know the stereotype all too well, and I've learned to develop a very thick skin about it.
Good girl.
So, yeah, I'm always telling the younger girls, don't worry, words are nothing. But yeah, of course, there's always a stereotype. But you can learn to use it to your advantage as well, because hey, I got my rent reduced as well from my landlord.
Oh, I love a rent reduction.
I showed him my photos on my page as well. All of that. The guy next door is fuming. And how the hell did she get her rent reduced? So yes, ladies, you can use it to your advantage, especially when I openly said to them, oh, I'm a sex worker.
Amazing. And well, do you know what? That's brilliant. And I'm delighted for you, because tough times. And it's, do you know what? It's so weird. We spend so much money on paying fucking rent, paying someone's mortgage. Yeah. So in tough times, them bitches are better off reducing it for us. Otherwise, you just move out and then you fuck off.
Exactly. And our times are tough, and we're living like it's in the Cold War.
Yeah.
At the moment, because we're just trying to save. And I got nothing against people that are going to trade sex for anything right now, because I will trade sex for a pizza.
I think
I will make that fantasy come true. I just have to save a lot.
Wow. And Tess, I want to ask you, what do you identify as gender-wise?
Gender, female.
Yeah.
But sexual orientation is pansexual.
Wow, pansexual. And what is a pansexual?
I'm not attracted to gender or identity or anything, just the person who it is. And because when people say, oh, men are shit or women are shit, I'm like, man, everyone is shit.
Everyone's fucking shit.
Out there, with a good soul and a good heart.
That's so true. And I mean, let's face it, your soul is the most attractive part of any human being. Jesus.
Exactly.
I think everyone should be a fucking pansexual, because it would have just done away with so much discrimination on sexual identity. But what I'd like to ask you again is, what is the best part of being a dominatrix?
Okay, now all my clients are going to hate me for this, but it's lockdown and you guys should be sending me money. So I'll say this. I love beating the shit out of people that make a lot of more money than me. I fucking love fisting you guys that make so much more money that put down women. I love dressing you up like women and sodomizing you. And during
Oh,
lockdown, that, and I get the text messages of how thirsty these clients are because I knew after a month, one of you guys was going to buckle and want something in your ass because you're for you. And now you're blowing up my phone. I can't wait till lockdown's over, man. It's on. It is on all the way in.
get that fucking arm up someone's
And I'll be
arse.
getting paid for it too. So that's what I love about my job.
And
Do
do many men enjoy anal penetration? Straight men at that?
Yes. Yes, it's like an 80% of men out there. It's please, guys, ask me for something different.
Wow.
Because a man comes to me for the first time and he's shy. And I'm thinking it's going to be something fantastic, like very rare. It's going to be a great fantasy. It's going to be a finger in the bum. And I'm like, yeah, and
Oh,
you do that.
wow.
I don't want to tell them that because I need the money.
Of course.
So,
you're like, no problem, which finger?
yeah, exactly. And they often lie about it too and say that it's the first time and it's only their girlfriend has put their finger in only once. And I swear to God, this is it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can parallel park your car in their ass. Liars, guys, liars. So yes, a lot of men love anal and they lie about it. I should know because you guys are paying me for it because your wives aren't doing it. So I think a lot of heterosexual men out there love anal but don't want to admit it because, oh, they think they're going to turn gay. Like,
and that's probably the biggest concern, right? But it's like, hello, the prostate glands is up there. Fucking explore it and enjoy it.
Exactly. It's
Come
like,
here to me. What is the most bizarre fantasy you've been asked to do? Please tell me this.
oh, okay, this guy, and I had a lot of fun doing it too. And this was at shows. And this guy must have seen the Saw movies too many times because not Saw, Hostel. You know, Hostel where they take.
Oh God, yeah, where they slice the ankle. Ah!
Yeah, so he wanted to recreate that, but he wanted me to mind fuck him, and he didn't realize he's dealing with a girl that's into horror movies.
Yeah.
So I folded him, and I used every kind of thing, like putting the vibrator up against his ear to say that it was a chainsaw. Got some and this poor guy nearly peed his pants. And the way that I've got stuff to electrocute people, everything. He left with no mark on him, but I think psychologically he will never forget me.
Wow, that is big. Oh,
and there
wow,
was nothing sexual in it either. Nothing sexual. Like I must be the only sex worker in Sydney that doesn't get sex.
Isn't that fascinating? Of course, because your main job is to fulfill just a fantasy. And as you said, if it's not, I mean, sexual, you could just go to an escort or a massage parlor, but to go to you, it would be a specific fantasy, right?
Yes, and it often doesn't sex because a lot of men that are into hardcore BDSM don't want sex and they see sex as something that's very is just something that's too affectionate. They want something rough and to be abused, and if I turn around and have sex with them, they see me in a different way.
That's fascinating. I did not know.
And I'm not allowed to jump onto a client who's tied up, no matter how sexy they are, and this has happened so many times. No how gorgeous the guy is and he's tied up and he's all ready to rock and roll, I'm not allowed to jump on him and have sex, no matter what, because he is specifically asked to not have sex, to not touch his penis.
Wow. So how, right, so that's your job, right? But how do you find a relationship when, like, I mean, surely is your opinion of people just not like, oh, well, no, because you said you're pansexual, but how do you find a relationship if you're working in that industry? Does someone have to work in the industry as well, like your partner?
No, I don't want to date anyone in this industry because guys that are into BDSM have got that mindset when they come home. Like, okay, let's leave. That's me as well. I'm quite an alpha female. So, but leave the whole master mistress thing at home. So I want to date someone outside the industry. But people outside of the industry have this horrible perception of me that, first of all, I hate men, which is not true.
Yeah.
And well, I must be a very violent person, which I no violent than the average person. I can just swing a whip as good as any cowboy. It's just that, and I don't take any shit from anyone. And
which is the way to fucking be.
I'll have to date a cowboy. Country. But no, I don't. It hasn't turned me off men at all because I've seen the real side of men.
Mm-hmm.
You strip away the ego and they're tortured and their bare soul is exposed. You see, there's a beautiful soul in there. And men and women can heal each other if we drop that ego. Right. So I want someone that I have that connection with. And I have seen that with my clients. That's why I've got a lot of long-time clients that are also good friends. Yeah. That's some during lockdown too. So thank you guys.
And so you meet a guy in a bar. He has no idea what you do, or a girl, whatever you meet. How do you then, how do you put that conversation on and say, because I find this sometimes, especially being a drag queen, but do you just come straight out with it, or is it a secret that you keep for a while and see?
I come straight out and tell it. Anyone that's invited me to a barbecue or a birthday knows, and family as well that I don't talk to anymore, knows I will come out and say, I'm a dominatrix. This is what I do. That's what I do. If you don't like it,
fuck you.
Bye. Yeah. I can pick your job apart too. But I don't do that. No, I got nothing to hide. People are fascinated by it. And a lot of people, friends, especially straight ones, like want to use me as a conversation piece at parties. Like, this is my dominatrix friend. It's like.
And how do you find that? Are you totally cool with it, or does it annoy you?
No, it annoys me now. That's why I've cut a lot of people out because, I'm not a showpiece.
Yeah. And so for me, your name was Show Pony. And you're saying you're not a showpiece. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, come here. I get it as well, being the gay friend sometimes. You're introduced to a circle. Oh, this is the gay friend. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, really? This is how we're introducing me, like, not this is fucking Luke, you know? Wow, fascinating. Okay, so what is the worst thing about being a dominatrix?
The cleanup. My fantasy, my goal is to have slaves to clean up the mess after, but not one slave has volunteered to clean up the mess afterwards, so you could all get fucked.
I'd say it's very messy, especially if you're sticking them fists of people.
Yeah, can you know that I have got a collection of enemas at home that I know how to use them perfectly on people.
Yeah.
So I tell subs how to use them perfectly. And but it still doesn't stop them from being a huge mess everywhere that I have to put on a hazmat suit and clean it up afterwards. So women that want to become dominatrixes,
You're also a cleaner.
Clean up shit. Oh my! Might as well just be a mum.
I totally I'll get a job in the bank. Wow, isn't that amazing? And am I right in saying, do you also do a little bit of porn as well?
Yeah, I've just stopped doing that now recently, just the OnlyFans stuff, because I'm big on consent, being a dominatrix and into BDSM. So consent and boundaries is a big thing to me. And no, from now on, every porn that I've shot from last year back, goodbye, because excluding the OnlyFans stuff, I've deleted it. No. So any porn that I've shot from this year onwards, So. And
do you still do an OnlyFans?
No.
No, okay. So explain to me, because I have no idea. I know people make a lot of money on OnlyFans. So what is
some
it?
Do. Some do.
Yes, some do. But I don't
Let me clear up the perception on that, because not all of us make a lot of money on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Very small percentage of women make money on OnlyFans. And that's if you're like the stereotypical glamorous Instagram baddie with a lot of fans.
Right.
Girl is not going to do it. And a lot of girls that are ethnic as well. Like, for instance, I'm ethnic. And if I didn't have this BDSM kind of side, I would not make any money on there doing OnlyFans. So it did my head in a lot what guys were asking me to do on OnlyFans. And I thought, no, go to hell. You're already paying $10. All my content's free, so fuck off. So
and I mean, if that's it, $10, you're like, sorry, come see me in the fucking. Do you work in a brothel or do you work from home?
I used to work at Stilettos, but now I'm working for Jake Ryan Agency after I won that award.
Now that I'm an award winner, yes, girl.
Yeah, so I'm just going to be working for them. I'm waiting to work for them to get out of lockdown. I'm bored.
Yeah.
So, guys, girls, everyone, come and get me there because I'm bored.
And so you said you're ethnic. What is your background?
I'm South African, but I came to Australia when I was 3. So let's just say I'm a native Australian.
Okay, well, yeah, do you know what? That's
by the land.
Good on you.
Because my only passport says Australian, so
right.
I'm on.
Have you ever been back to Have you ever been to South Africa?
Yeah, a couple of times. I didn't like it. It's not my home. Australia's my home.
Yeah.
I couldn't relate to the people. Like, I love the people there. Family, yeah, cool, whatever. But no, Australia's my home, and Australia, yeah, if people mistaken me for Aboriginal, I'll go with it because I love Australia.
Good. And I guess I will. Oh, so sorry. So now you have your own. You've always had your own range of toys, yes? And now you've just made some extra products. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
What is the name of your product range?
It's from Plastic Emporium, and Tessadol range of toys, and it even has little whips and stuff. And a lot of the stuff you can't really find on other websites. So all the hard BDSM stuff.
Go and check you out. Well, Tessa, I am going to buy a whip once I get my COVID money this week. I'm going to buy a little whip because it will complement my outfit fabulously.
A beautiful outfit, by the way.
Oh, come here, thank you. But you know what? Unlike you, I actually bought mine in Paddy's Markets, and it's about $20. No, actually,
I love Paddy's Markets.
I love Paddy's Markets too.
I love Paddy's Markets. No,
but see the harness I'm wearing.
Yeah.
That was when I first met you. Do you remember when I first met you?
Yeah, that hair.
It was for the photo shoot for Max and Dawn's label Housewives on Fire.
Yes.
And this is one of their pieces. So that was the first time me and you met. So I'm wearing that Paddy's Markets number, and then my friend gifted me this hat.
Hot.
So your whip will complement it perfectly.
Yeah, you got that one.
Oh, that's a big one. That's an Indiana Jones whip, babe.
That is very much Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's a cowboy I'm yet to meet.
You'd be like, you should go on The Farmer Wants a Wife.
Yes, maybe. I was looking at some dating sites for men in the country, so
who knows? Who knows? And just before we wrap up, Tessa, I want to ask you, is there a particular saying or a quote that you live your life by that means a lot to you?
Yes, and this quote is by the very famous, not Ava Gabor. Yeah, and she said, "Don't regret what you do in life, only what you don't." And I've lived that every day of my life since I heard that quote when I was in my teens.
Tessa, amen, because what a fabulous quote that is.
Yeah.
That's just brilliant. Well, listen, I think I've asked everything I need to, and you've just been a wealth of information to me, and you've really enlightened me on what actually goes on in the Dom world. It was fascinating, and I just want to thank you so much for your time for doing this.
Thanks, and sorry about that stuff up. I am going through a divorce during lockdown, so
sorry. You did say. Do you want to talk about that or not?
No, it's going to be dragging.
Not really. Oh, but come here. You said you had a cat, and your cat went missing. Did you find him? Is it he or she?
Moving, and then the cat runs out, and I'm thinking, oh my God. And that was just the peak of the worst. Everything was great after that.
Oh, good. Well, listen, thank you so much again, love. I'm going to stop the recording now. And I just want to thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you soon. We can have a little drink soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Bye, love. Thanks a million.
Bye.
Bye, darling. Bye-bye.